society. Please be brief. Now we have to conclude it, the discussion.
Madam, I'm just starting now, madam.
I know, but still we have to conclude in time. That's why I'm asking.
Thank you, madam.
Be brief. Before starting, I must say no, that you have to be brief. That is the thing.
Madam,
please.
Madam,
I will try to accommodate all of you. थोड़ा बोलोगे तो सबको accommodate करोगे. पूरा 2-4 घंटे नहीं.
Thank you, madam, for giving me this chance to talk on this very important subject. Madam, mob violence, what we're talking about, represents a breakdown of law and order. It represents a show of strength in numbers. It represents the majority rule mentality, and it does not have place in a peaceful, democratic, and orderly society. It takes the takes the place of judge, jury, and executioner as well. Madam, I was looking at many of the reports while preparing for my speech about mob violence, trying to look at the history, because a lot of accusations are being made on both sides about whether mob violence is increasing or not increasing. And based on the statistics that I was able to review, one thing that was clear is that mob violence has been increasing continuously. Not in the last 3 to 4 years, but in the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whichever period of time that you take, there has been an increase in mob violence, and it has been continuing even today. But one thing that stands out is that cow-related violence has grown from 5% of the mob violence to over 20% by June 2017. So, although mob violence as such has been continuing to grow, this particular type of violence against this particular subject of cow violence has reached an alarming proportion. But it doesn't mean to say that there's been an overall, the overall increase has been a continuing increase, is the point I'm trying to make. The Prime Minister himself has recognized the problem of this cow-related violence and has strongly spoken out against violence, including the cow-related vigilantism, in his statement on 29th July, just a couple of days ago, which many of my colleagues have already mentioned. Mr. Saugat Roy also mentioned that 52% of the cases that have been reported in mob violence have been from BJP-ruled states. But I think that should also tell everyone that 48% or half is from non-BJP ruled states as well. So this is happening across the country. I don't think you can isolate it only to BJP or non-BJP ruled states. But it's something that is of concern to us and we should all be concerned about. Madam, what is clear is that there are certain parties that are pursuing minority vote bank politics. There are other parties that are pursuing majority polarization politics. And there are yet even other parties that are pursuing region-based politics or caste-based politics or any type of politics that will divide society, basically. I think all the political parties have to look at themselves and understand how they are dividing society and not unifying society. I think every party has to introspect, madam, not only one or two. Madam, when I look at my own identity, I'm an Indian, I'm a male, I'm a Hindu, I'm Telugu from Andhra Pradesh and from Rayalaseema in particular. I'm fair-skinned, some people were talking about color here. I'm a Kamma by caste, I'm a non-vegetarian, and I'm a heterosexual. These are all the labels that our members themselves have been using to label people, madam, and the society themselves have been using. If I look at myself, I have 11 labels here. I don't know how many more labels I could come up with if I had to really think about it. But just sitting here, 11 labels came to my mind, madam. Madam, when it comes to people, I don't think there's much of a problem in our country, but it's these group-to-group clashes and politics that is actually creating these problems with respect to religion, caste, region, language, color, gender, diet, or sexual preference. All of these things are dividing society. I believe that the President, the Prime Minister, the Chief Ministers, and leaders of all political parties need to rise above this type of politics and condemn bomb-related violence of all types, regardless of how it may be started, Madam. Madam, India is a multicultural, multi-religious, multilinguistic composite society. It has been so for thousands of years, Madam. On behalf of my party, the Telugudesam Party, and our CM Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, I condemn any and all violence, mob violence related to religion, caste, region, language, color, gender, diet, or sexual preference, Madam. The strongest action will be taken against perpetrators in Andhra Pradesh, Madam, and I appeal to all CMs, the 52% in BJP-ruled states, as well as the 48% in non-BJP-ruled states, to also act accordingly and protect the constitutional rights of all citizens and the composite nature of our society. Madam, before I conclude, I just want to take one more minute to talk about the cow issue that has raised everybody's attention now. Is also not only a social issue, Madam, it's also an economic issue, it's also an environmental issue. And I just want to take a minute to talk about that. Madam, as we all know, India is the fastest growing large economy in the world today. Our per capita GDP is increasing. Our infant and maternal mortality rates are coming down. Lifespans are increasing. Consumption of everything is increasing, Madam, including food consumption, including milk consumption. Therefore, the demand of milk is exploding, Madam. The demand for milk is growing beyond where it ever used to be before. Only female cows, Madam, give milk. I think we all know that. And cows are being breeded to increase the volume and increase the supply of milk. But since the female cow population is required to meet the demand for milk, what do we do with the male cow population, Madam, is a real issue we need to think about. Whether as an economic issue or an environmental issue. What do we do with all the male cows, Madam, in this country? What is the solution? It's a question that I'm asking. What do we do with all the male cows? They need to be fed. We need to feed them more. And they're adding to the greenhouse gases in our country, in the society also. I don't have a solution, Madam. My question to all the learned members here is, what do we do with all the male cows? Thank you.